Hello, how are you guys? This is ManojM here once again from Market Ideas of Profit. We're on the 11th of May. This is 8 p.m. in the evening, and we've had uh, a huge amount of news traveling to us from the India-Pakistan border and the skirmishes and a lot of events happening around the war, the Operation Sindoor, and the Pahalgam attacks and everything that's been happening. It's been obviously having an effect on the charts, but my uh, assessment on the charts is that everything is factored in the charts. And if you see, I just read the charts and try to assess what's going to happen. My prediction, my projection, my forecast of everything the price will be based on levels and how I read them using a few indicators that I normally use to give me the structure of what the price is doing, what are the possibilities, and the idea to create a roadmap to where the price can ultimately go to. Now, every time you reach from an X place to a Y place, there will be X point 2, X point 3, X point 4 before you reach Y. So the idea in all these videos and all my analysis is to find out what is that X point 2, X point 3, X point 4, X point 5 before we reach the Y. Or if we are going to the Z, what would be X point minus 2, X point minus 3, X point minus 4 to reach to whatever is the lower figure. That's the intention of my analysis. And I use a few tools to get to where my analysis takes me. And today I'm going to focus on using the analysis, using the volume profile analysis to tell me what is the structure of the chart and what are the levels that are significant in the market. And once we come to that threshold, what do we do next? And which gives us the story of what's coming after we cross or we react back from that level. That's the entire game plan that I use for my trading. It works beautifully for me. And if you've been following, you are witness to everything that I do, and we've come and done really well with our analysis. So here goes. What are we expecting from five charts? Nifty, Bank Nifty, Midcap Nifty, Reliance, HDFC, and the sixth one will be TCS. We'll add these six charts to tell us what the market is doing. So we'll go to the Nifty, Bank Nifty, Midcap to give us a structure, broad spectrum of what the market is doing at the highest end, the Bank Nifty, which is a very major component of our economy, and the Midcap, which is important because that's where the most of the stocks lie. The majority of the stocks lie in the Midcap. And then we talk about a few heavyweights, Reliance, HDFC, and TCS to cover the major sectors that will impact the economy and the markets. So starting with the Nifty, this is the futures chart, and I have divided my my chart into a few sections by using the volume profile to tell me what are the levels that we need to concentrate on, what are the structures that we get from the market, and this is what I get. This is the upper structure from where we have just come down and we've come below the value area low of the upper structure. So we were somewhere in the 24,630, 40, 70 range, 6,700 range, where we were expecting 24,700. We were expecting some resistance. And had the war not been the way it is, we could have gone higher. But yes, war will have effect, and there will be some uncertainties in the market, which will reflect in the sentiments that the traders are going to project. And we have given some way, and we've seen some weakness, and we've gone below the lower range of the above volume profile structure. But the structure which is below the current structure is, the range high is 23,800. So now we have an interim phase where we went in the month somewhere. I'll just give you a cue as to when we moved up. We moved up around the 17th of April from one threshold to the next threshold. And we are now at the high. We are just about at the high of that threshold, which we crossed around the 18th of April. And we are testing those lows to see if we can bounce back and go higher, or we are going to fall back in the range which was formed in the period from March 21st to April 21st. So that was a 1 month period in which we had fallen, and now we've gone back up. But again, we are the crux with the crossroad where we went up, and we are back down to test the bottom of the high of that range and the bottom of the range that we've been having from April 21st to date. So we are at a crossroad, and we are testing the breakout points that we had, and we will see now what is going to happen. So the structure tells me that about 24,185, we can go back to 24,575, and we break down from 23,971, we can go down to 23,371. So there's a 500-point fall that we can see after we go to 23,800, 23,900, or we can go up again and test 24,575. But before we do that, we need to wait to get a cross of 24,185. So I'm in a no trade zone as of now. 24,815 breached, I go higher. 23,971 breached, I go lower. This is what the Nifty is telling me. Let's go to the Bank Nifty. Similarly, I have divided my structure on the volume profile to where I see consolidation and see what the traders have been doing. And when I see those levels, the readout is that above 53,899, I can remain bullish, but I'd still want to be a little guarded and safe. The safe traders can go long after they cross 54,711. Aggressive traders can start going long after 53,899 is held. And if you find a breakdown below 53,700, we could be, heading lower, first to 52,794. And if we see more weakness, we could go down to 51,800 and 51,200. That's the kind of structure the Bank Nifty is telling me. So every threshold that we cross tells us the story, what we should expect going forward. So this is beautifully illustrated on my chart. Above 53,899, we can remain bullish. Below 53,700, we can start to think of shorting the Bank Nifty. Let's see what the Midcap Nifty is telling us. Midcap Nifty is again in some kind of a range between the upper levels and the lower levels. And we are in a small range, sideways action from 17th April right up to 12th May. So we've been absolutely sideways. In spite of all the adverse news that the market has been giving us, I'm seeing a sideways action that tells me there is some inherent strength in the market. In spite of the uncertainties, we are in a range, and I expect that if we cross about 12,375 and then about 12,579, we can go back to 13,344, which looks probable to me. Obviously, there are two sides to the coin, and if we begin to face some weakness, 11,834 and 11, I would say 11,760. So 11,750, the threshold where I start taking my shots on this particular chart. That's what the Midcap Nifty tells me based on what I see and what I assess using my volume structure readings. Let's go to Reliance and see what Reliance has been really, really strong in the last few sessions. And we are seeing that it is going higher, and we're seeing some kind of a sideways motion here. Let me assess right in front of you as to what I expect in Reliance. So the threshold that I'm getting from my reading is that the moment we go above this level is when we should be interested in trying to target the highs of the upper range. I'm going to just use my right tool to get you that level. And this is what I see. So I'm waiting for a cross of 1425 to then target these higher levels of 1472 and 1524. That's what I think we'll eventually go. We'll probably see some consolidation in this area before we can move up. So I expect, be above 1373. And if you're above 13,393, 1425 can be my intraday targets. So I expect some kind of a sideways action until we breach 1373. The moment we breach 1373 to the lower end, we could be looking down, and 1326, 1303, and 1230. That's a long way down, so don't expect that to happen. But yeah, we could be somewhere in the sideways range. If we break 1373, 1326, and 1303, could be something that we could tag at the lower end and maybe bounce back and do some kind of consolidation between these areas. But Reliance looks strong to me, given the recent price action and the great results that Reliance brought in. And yeah, I'm looking at this chart on a bullish way. The moment it leaves some consolidation area, goes above 1425, I'm going for a long to give me some rise, 5-7% rise to the top. Let's go to HDFC Bank, and this is what the structure tells me. We've again done very well, and now we are consolidating our range. We are at a very good price. I think we're at an all-time high. Let me just check. We'll go to the weekly. Yeah, we are at an all-time high. So we are doing really near the all-time high, that is. And we are doing really well. The all-time high is 1980. So 2000 has acted as somewhere where we've tried to, take some resistance. So the moment we go above 1911, we can target another 40, 50 points even higher. We can go a little higher, probably about, I could say 1950 plus. And if we break down below 1881, we could look at some lower levels. First target could be 1830 and next could be 1760. That's what the structure tells me as far as the HDFC Bank is concerned. Let us look at TCS and see what the reading TCS is giving us. TCS is at the lower range of the cycle, and yeah, it has taken a huge battering since December. It's been falling, falling. And let me look at how we are structured on the left. We seem to have done some kind of a sweep of the lows here at 3,300. So we have swept some lows at 3,300, and we're trying to go up. If we can sustain that move above 3,300, then I would seek to go higher. It looks like we can see a higher move if we cross 3,536 for the safe layers, and if we stay above 3,400, 34, 35 for some time, I could still start accumulating some in this level, in this range. If we break 3430, we would be looking at 3,200 for a slight move down, which could again then sweep some liquidities and eventually move up. So I feel that TCS is in an accumulation phase for going higher. That's my reading. I could be wrong. So you could just look at these levels and see what TCS is giving you, and then take your decision. But this is my feeling that eventually we could go higher in TCS, and 3,200 could be our stop loss, and we could start accumulating and hope for getting to 4,000 levels in the short term. This looks very, very possible in the short term. 4,000 looks possible to me. Accumulate between 3,300 and 3,400, and once it goes above 3,500, start trailing and try to move higher and get to that 4,000 figure, which I think is easily achievable on TCS. So these are the charts that I wanted to analyze for this weekend to give us a cue as to what's happening. Yeah, going back to Nifty again, thresholds. Remember, what happens in the market is we look at the price and then we decide to attribute as to what news caused the price to fall or to go up. It's very difficult to look at the news and predict price. That's a policy, because that's not the price always discounts what's going to happen in the future, which you and me don't know. But the markets overall know what is going to happen, and most of the time they get it right. So what you see in price is what is more important. What I see on the news channel is not something I want to believe, because in times of war, truth is the first thing that gets compromised. You listen only one-sided affairs, and you don't get the real picture. So I don't depend on news. I always depend on price to tell me what's happening. Now, it's a little bit of a contrarian view, but I look at the price to tell me what is going to happen, and most of the time I get it right. So I am emboldened to trust my chart and place my trades based on what I see on the chart, and filter out the news and not depend on that to give me my cues. That's it for this video. A short one, giving you a glimpse of what I expect the markets to do. They can go either ways. What is important for us is to know the threshold where we can trigger our longs, and we should know the threshold where we need to trigger our shorts, or to adjust our portfolios based on what levels are crossed. Because whenever you reach a level, there are road signs and road markings which tell you where the road is leading to. So in trading, my philosophy is you look at the road signs and understand what the road is leading you to, and take that direction. And if you follow that direction, you probably end up making money, whether it's on the long side or on the short side. The cue is into what the markings are, and if you read the markings, decide what the marking, what road is being taken after the marking goes, and that's how you can navigate the market and make money. That's it for this video, guys. If you like the content, please like it, share it, and comment on it if you think something else should be added which can give you more value. If you see something wrong, point it out. I'm always learning, and I'm open to looking at opinions and other things that you might have. I'm just giving my point of view. and it's been working for me. So I'm sharing it with you to try and share what I think is possible. If it works, works. If it doesn't work, I learn from the process. But I'm encouraged by the fact that my analysis is giving me the right signals. That's it for this video. Look forward to seeing you again, and goodbye and thank you.